There seems to be a lot of FUD around Cardano right now. Whether or not Vasil is ready, whether or not Vasil is rushed, whether or not the testnet failure has anything to do with the mainnet, there's a lot of people that are scared about the development of Cardano. Well, Charles Hoskinson just came out and responded to the critics. So let's take a look at what he just said and let me respond to it. Okay, let's listen in.
Hi, everyone. This is Charles Hoskinson broadcasting live from warm, sunny Colorado. Very brief, very quick video I wanted to make to get ahead of a lot of the FUD that's been floating around. So there seems to be a strange series of dialogues that are occurring as it relates to node 135.3 and the current upgrade for Vasil. So here's what happened. Node version 135 was what we forked the testnet with. Many people tested it, many people used it, but it turned out that there was a very subtle, extremely strange bug in the implementation of the ECDSA implementation that we had, which enabled support for Bitcoin-style cryptography, which was necessary for a lot of bridge protocols that were coming with Vasil. When the transactions were constructed in a certain way on the testnet, it would cause a soft fork on the testnet. So this caused, obviously, a serious problem. And because the testnet had already been forked and this bug was already there as a final stage of testing, it basically broke the testnet. This has been known for quite some time. And the response to it is just simply to roll back that feature and disable it so that it can be improved and corrected for the next hard fork, post-Vasil. 2 other bugs were discovered during additional testing. Some of those bugs on our side and some of those bugs independently replicated by the SPOs who chose to take an intermediate version, 135.2, and actually deploy it on the mainnet. All of these things have been resolved, and the code in question that we're talking about for the Vasil hard fork has been heavily tested, survived a hard fork, lived in a mixed node environment, and it's even demonstrating that today on the mainnet because 17% of the SPOs are running 135.3.
Real quick, I just want to summarize what I just listened to. It does seem like 1.35, so there was some kind of major bug which caused a soft fork of the testnet. So it seems like they already identified that. That was a known bug. They have removed that code, and they don't plan on fixing that bug until the next upgrade after Vasil, right? So that's number one. Number two is he mentioned about additional bugs that came out with 135.2, right? Which they have also removed, which is why they are on 135.3. And now he's talking about how they've been testing it in a mixed environment. So just to clarify, it does seem like there's a bigger known bug with 135 that they already removed the code, the buggy code. So that's not going to be an issue. And whatever bugs that was discovered in 1.35.2 has also been resolved. That's why they're on .3. Okay.
And we're in a situation where we have high confidence that the code we're looking at is pretty good. Now, SPOs can demand different testing regimes, and they're free to do so. And as stated, until 75% of the SPOs upgrade, we're not going to do a hard fork. So they're in charge of the process of when and how Vasil ships. And there's been a great dialogue. I believe there was a call yesterday or this morning where over 300 of the SPOs attended. That's what I was told. And there was a strategy and plan for the types of testing scenarios that make them comfortable. This is a normal process. It's done on a regular basis, again and again and again and again, through all the hard forks we've been through together. Some of the SPOs chose then to go and do interviews, and it resulted in the creation of sensationalist videos that basically implied that there's a lurking catastrophic potential bug and that the current Cardano code is not tested at all, which is just not true. Yes, a new testnet could be completely respun, and it may be worthwhile pursuing that in short time, or it could be worthwhile being a little bit more careful and spinning a more capable testnet that has more disaster recovery inside of it. These things are being discussed at the moment. Post-mortem and retrospective is also being written up, which will be quite exhaustive about how did this bug slip through with 135, which was released into the testnet and forked on the testnet back in, I believe, June.
Okay, so stop right there. So what Charles is saying is this. Vasil is not going to be hard forked until at least 75% of the SPOs agree, right? So he's putting that on them. It's like, I'm not going to force it. It's up to them. But the SPO that he's referring to is the one that, that recently caused all the FUD. But what's interesting is this, that since the testnet failed, they have not relaunched another testnet. So I do think some of these SPOs are basically worried that without running another testnet to run the new code, let's say 135.3, right, they're kind of rushing it. I think that is the problem right now, that some SPOs still think that IOHK and Charles may be rushing things without trying to fix that bug from 135 in the first place, right? They're kind of just like saying, okay, we're going to do it, we're going to fix it after this. So I think that's where the issue lies, right? But Charles is saying, well, 135.3 is being tested in a mixed environment right now. I think I'm maybe jumping the gun a little bit, but just want to clarify a few things.
And that will come. But we have to deal with the problems of today, which is getting Vasil out. And we have high confidence on our end that the engineering behind 135.3 is solid. Again, SPOs are independently able to verify that and test it themselves and have been working with our people to set up test environments that make them feel comfortable for the release. Somehow this was not good enough for certain SPOs, and then they decided to take to Twitter, Reddit, and other channels, and now it's created a narrative that there's some sort of conflict or quality issue that we currently do not have. We all get egg on our face when something is pushed to testnet that shouldn't have been. And the post-mortem will be done. A retrospective will be done. But it's important to always take a look at things in the bounds of where we're at. At the moment, the code in 135.3, the vast majority of it is unchanged since 135. That code has already survived a hard fork. That code has been extensively tested by dApp developers. That code has been tested again and again. And that code is running on mainnet with some of the stake pool operators, more than 10%. It's running in a mixed node environment at the moment. Additional testing can and should be done, okay, but then it has to be made clear what are the goals in the specific test scenarios that people are interested in testing. This was discussed in the call with the SPOs. A plan was reached, and our people are working with them to accommodate. What is unproductive is for this to spill out into YouTube, Reddit, and Twitter. It provides no value, and all it's done is been weaponized and used to attack and degrade the project and imply that we're significantly far away from Vasil forking. We're significantly far away. There's massive bugs or quality issues in Cardano, that there's somehow a crisis in the Cardano ecosystem. There is no crisis. There is no issue. Things are, for the most part, working. The very fact that the bug was discovered on the testnet and that the testnet fell over is a good indication that the testing processes are working. Now.
Okay, so again, here are my thoughts on what he said. Basically, Charles is saying, well, yes, it wasn't good that the testnet failed, right? But this code, the 135.3, has been tested extensively since then, right? It's actually running on more than 10% of the nodes already, or the pools, I'm sorry. So it's being tested right now, and he's fairly confident that things will work, right? And I do agree with them. Sometimes, getting things on Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, cause a lot of FUD. But I will say this, it is bringing up more discussions around it. And, not everyone is panicking. There are some constructive constructive conversations going on right now. But I do think, I think some of the SPOs do have a point, though. So they just want to be cautious, right? They don't want anything to screw up. They really believe in Cardano. I don't think the SPOs are doing it because they're trying to take down Cardano. I mean, they're running the pools, right? So I do think that they're just concerned with 135.3. There's not another testnet spun up based on this version to make sure that things are okay, right? I think that's the only thing. I think they just want to make sure that whatever caused a soft fork with the testnet with 135, right, since the code has been removed, and all the bugs that has been removed, right? I think what they just want to see is, well, let's just spin up a testnet and see if it works, right? But Charles is saying, no, we've been testing this code extensively, verified it works. It's being run right now with over 10% of the pools out there. So rest assured, it's looking good. That's how I'm taking it.
It's not good that it's discovered very at the end because it slows things down. It causes a loss of confidence. You have to respin a lot of things. That's fine. But let's be clear here. This was not a mainnet bug. As for the discovery of 135.2, the issues was having in a mixed node environment, we had yet to spin up an official release. And that was one of the things to test in that release, which would have been done. So it was independently confirmed by people watching the mainnet who decided to upgrade to 135.2. That's great. We're happy that SPOs are finding bugs. That's a good thing. That's a very good thing. But again, to infer that no testing has been done, to infer that now we have to go back to the beginning and retest the code that's already been extensively and exhaustively tested again and again and again, will not produce a different outcome. All it will do is introduce months of delays for no additional value. Now, if there are new test scenarios, new test environments, new test outcomes, new types of tests that have not been run before, then the time for that discussion is now in the dialogue between Sam and our other people and the SPOs. And we can certainly figure out scenarios that are reasonable and run those scenarios. That's the point of the calls. That's the point of the Discord. That's the point of these types of things. It is not productive, though, to go to YouTube, Reddit, Twitter, and use that as the channel for a debate. It's not informed. It has no value as a medium. And the best case scenario is people ignore the debate. The worst case scenario is it gets weaponized to harm the brand and reputation of the project. It's that simple. So I don't make these decisions. Cardano truly is decentralized. And again, no hard fork will occur until the SPOs have upgraded, at least 75% of them. So it's actually in their hands about what they feel comfortable about and what they'd like to see. And they'll make that decision, not me. All I can do is tell you where our confidence lies. And our confidence does lie with 135.3. Now, could a bug be discovered? Sure. Could a significant show-stopping issue be discovered? Sure, it's software. And that's the nature of software. What is the likeliness of that? Fairly low, given that this code, for the most part, has been in production for quite some time and tested relentlessly for quite some time. That's just the reality. People can disagree, but that's the point of having a 75% stake pool threshold. Now, that threshold will be made explicit in a future SIP. And we're right now drafting that alongside some SIPs involving key governance and other things post Vasil. But I just wanted to make this video real quickly to let everybody know where we're at and just calm everybody down. And nothing is a matter, nothing's a problem. This is natural growing pain. It's an indication that Cardano is indeed decentralized.
All right. So one of the things I do have to disagree with is, Charles is saying, well, the SPO should not have made this public. Basically, he's implying it should have been kept internal, right? But again, I kind of talked about this. SPOs, maybe they thought that they weren't being heard. Maybe they do think that they raised concerns, but it was falling on deaf ears, right? And again, the SPOs, they don't want to spread FUD. Why would they want to? They're the ones that's running the pools right now, right? So to me, it doesn't seem like this is an attack on Cardano. This is not trying to weaponize Cardano in any evil way. This is from the people that are supporting Cardano right now, right? So I do think that, yeah, sometimes social media is not the best place for conversation. And yeah, it could be toxic at times, but this is coming from within. This is not coming from the outside. This is not like Solana attacking Cardano right now, right? This is from the SPOs themselves, which have legitimate concern. So I do think, if nothing else, this has brought awareness. It has brought, caught the attention of Charles, right? So maybe there could be more dialogue after this. So I don't know. That's the only thing I kind of disagree with Charles there, in terms of, how this was just should have been kept internal, right? Not made public. But you know what? Maybe this will actually help and speed things up and make sure that things are done right. So there you go. So what did you get out of this? Do you believe what Charles is saying? Do you think he's correct that, testnet is testnet, right? We got bigger fish to fry. We're concentrating on the mainnet, and the mainnet won't go live with Vasil until the SPOs upgrade anyways, right? But we have done our testing extensively, and delaying it further is not going to bring any additional benefit, right? Do you believe in that? Or do you believe that they should hold off and have another testnet spun up and do more testing, right? And what do you think about the SPO? Should they have kept it quiet, or what they did was actually correct? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for my future videos. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.